And this is the Azdome M550 triple channel dash cam, which also supports parking monitor and night vision. And on this video, I'm gonna give you a complete tour of the menu and my personally recommended settings for this dash cam. And I previously reviewed this dash cam on the channel. If you guys wanna see that full review video, I'll put that link to it in the description down below, along with a link to this dash cam in case you wanna get one for yourself. And to access the settings of the dash cam, I'm gonna press the M button on the right hand side of the screen, and the very first setting is gonna be the video settings, and it's gonna be resolution. I'm gonna hit OK, which is the center button right here. And when this dashcam is in 3-channel mode, which is the front, the cabin, and the rear, we get the choice of 2K for the front and full high definition for the cabin and the rear, all three of them at 30 frames per second. However, we can lower that for all three cameras to be in full high definition if we wanted to fit more onto the memory card. However, if running it on 3-channel mode, I recommend to run it on the highest resolution. And if you run the dashcam in 2-channel mode, which is the front and the rear camera only, you'll notice that we have different resolution options. The very first one is ultra high definition for the front, which is 4K, and full high definition for the rear. However, we can lower that to quad high definition for the front, which is 2K, and full high definition for the rear, or we can go as low as full high definition for both the front and the rear, all of them at 30 frames per second in case we wanted to fit more into the memory card. However, again, my recommendation here would be to set this at this highest setting, which is 4K for the front, full high definition for the rear. And the next setting is gonna be loop recording. All dashcams record video continuously, but they segment that video into smaller manageable chunks of video, and here we can select how long we want those chunks of video to be. And here it's just a matter of preference, 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. I like 3 minutes, that way I don't end up with too many one little clips or very long 5-minute clips. I think 3 minutes, it's a nice in between. The next option is the rear camera mirror, which you can turn on and off. And let me show you what that does. I'm gonna go back to the main screen right here, and we'll switch over to the rear camera only. As you can see on the rear camera, notice that this car is on the right hand side of the screen. But if I go back into the menu, we can change that. I'm gonna select rear camera mirror on. And now if I go back to the dashcam, notice that the car has moved from the right hand side of the screen to the left hand side of the screen. And this adjustment can be helpful if mounting the rear dashcam in an unusual location and we wanted to flip the image. However, by default, this option is gonna be off, and that's gonna provide the correct image for most installations. The next option is time-lapse record. If you wanted to record a time-lapse instead of continuous video, I will turn that option on, and this will create a time-lapse. However, this is mostly recommended for an scenic drive where you're trying to capture something artistic. For normal dashcam driving purposes, the time-lapse recording should be off. The next option is whether to record audio or not. You can turn that off or turn it on. I think audio is an important piece of evidence, so I'm gonna keep the audio recording on. And the next option is gonna be wide dynamic range, which we can turn off or on. I recommend leaving this on because this allows the dashcam to capture the best image quality when you have both dark images and also bright sources in the camera. Next option is gonna be frequency, and here you wanna set this to 60 Hz if you're in the United States or 50 Hz if you are in Europe. And the next option is gonna be G-sensor. This dashcam has the ability to detect when you get into a car crash and automatically flag the video so you can find it a lot easier in the future. And here we can tell the sensor how sensitive to be to detecting a car crash. Now, if I set this too high, any potential little bump on the road may trigger the dashcam into thinking that I got into a car crash, and it's gonna start flagging videos left to right. Now, I normally run mine on low, but I recommend experimenting with your vehicle to determine what the best sweet spot is for when to actually detect a car crash. Alternatively, you can also turn this off altogether. However, I do not recommend that. I do like my dashcam to flag the video when there's a potential car crash, so at the very least, I'm gonna run this on low. The next option is exposure, and this allows the dashcam to compensate. If you feel that the video is too bright, you can begin to decrease the brightness of that video all the way up to -2. It also allows you to adjust if you feel that the dashcam video is too dark. You can begin to increase the brightness of the video all the way up to +2. So far, I found that the video on this dashcam is well balanced, so I keep mine on 0, which means no adjustment. Moving back to the main menu, the next option is gonna be playback mode that allows you to play back the videos that have been recorded by the dashcam, and the very first one is normal video of ordinary driving. And as you can see, there's a few videos on here, and I can always go back with the letter M. The next one is gonna be log videos. These are videos where the dashcam believes you potentially got into a car crash. Going back again by pressing the M. The third folder is gonna be picture folder. If you're taking any pictures with the dashcam, this is where you can see where those pictures would be at. But I also wanna show you how to play back the videos that have been recorded by the dashcam. Notice that it is currently selected because it's in blue, and if I hit OK, it begins to play the video back, and I can always pause the playback by putting OK, or resume playback by pressing OK one more time. Going back to the main menu, the next option is gonna be park monitor that allows this dashcam to monitor the car when you are parked and you're away from it. And it does require the dashcam to be hardwired with the Azdome hardwire kit, and then you get a couple choices. The very first one is gonna be to enable time-lapse parking mode. When you turn off the car, the dashcam is gonna begin to record a time-lapse, which is gonna compress many hours of video into a short video. However, if somebody were to impact the car, the dashcam is gonna automatically switch over from time-lapse to normal video recording. So this is a very powerful option to monitor not only what happened over many hours, but also when somebody actually impacted your vehicle. The next option is motion detection parking mode, and if I turn this on, when I turn the car off, the dashcam is only gonna record video when somebody passes in front of the camera. However, if somebody were to impact the car, again, the dashcam is gonna record video like normal instead of motion detection. After the impact has passed, it will return back to motion detection mode. And the last parking mode is a standard collision detection parking mode, which puts the camera into standby when you turn off the car and only records the video when it senses that the car got hit by another vehicle or something large enough to trigger the dashcam into feeling that movement. And the next option is date and time, and this information is completed automatically by the GPS, but you could change that if desired, and you can move through the boxes by pressing the little OK button. You can also change the format of how you want this dashcam to display the date. In this case, I have it as month, day, and then the year. And the next option is to turn on the Wi-Fi to allow you to connect to this dashcam with the app, and also the Wi-Fi name and password information, as well as instructions on how to connect to the dashcam. And the next option is gonna be the watermark, and this is the information that is shown on the video that is recorded, and you can customize that quite a bit. You can have it to display the time or not display the time on the video recorded. You can also choose whether you want your speed to be recorded or not, and you can also choose whether you want the actual coordinates of your location to be recorded directly onto the video. I think all three of them are important pieces of evidence, so I keep all three of them on. And the next option is gonna be SD card, which is the memory card. And the very first choice is a reminder to format the memory card regularly. Most dashcam manufacturers want you to erase the videos that you have recorded after a period of time. Formatting seems to, in some cases, help the dashcam to perform a little better in terms of recording video. However, I turn that option off, and I just format manually every once in a while using the SD card format option. Now, be aware that if you do decide to format the memory card, all video on it will be deleted at once by selecting that option. And the next option down is storage info that shows you how much memory is loaded on the dashcam and how much space is currently free. And the next option is gonna be language, where we get several choices in case we wanted to change the language of this dashcam. And the next option is system settings, and the very first one is fatigue driving reminder that allows this dashcam to remind you to take a break after a certain amount of driving. You can have this completely off, or you can have it to remind you in 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours. The next option down is speed unit, and this allows you to change between kilometers per hour or miles per hour. The next one down is key tone. If you turn this on, Now you're gonna get a beep every time you move through the menu. I'm gonna turn this off. And the next option is screensaver, and if I have this as off, this display is gonna stay on all the time. However, I can have it turned off after a certain period of time and the dashcam will continue recording, and here I can select between 1 minute, 3 minutes or up to 5 minutes, and then the dashcam display turns off while the dashcam continues to record. And the next option is time zone. Remember, this dashcam is pulling the date and time from the GPS, and here you gotta tell it where you are located as far as the time zone, otherwise the date and time can potentially be incorrectly set by the GPS. The next option is default setting. If for some reason I change something on this dashcam and I don't know how to return it back to normal, I can always restore it to its original defaults as when I first bought it. And the last item on the main menu is gonna be version, and this allows you to see the current version of the software or firmware that this dashcam is currently running. So remember, I put a link in the description down below to this dashcam in case you want to get one for yourself. And now that you know how to use this dashcam to its full potential, you also may want to check out my other videos on dashcam installation and the dashcam hardwire process. I'll put links to that in the description also. If you have any other questions regarding this dashcam, please put that in the comments. And if you found any part of this video helpful, hit the thumbs up button to support the channel and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam videos coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.